Welcome, indie game adventurers, to the Indie Game Lunch Hour, the best dang indie game development podcast on the planet. Today, we're being joined by the founders of Ludocratic Studios, the creators of The Box is Alive, to talk about never stopping the momentum.
The Indie Game Lunch Hour.
In our live magical podcast, we give game developers the chance to hear stories of breaking in from real indie developers, as well as directly ask them questions about their areas of expertise in the second half of each episode. This is a mostly unedited recording of a weekly event we host in the Indie Game Academy Discord, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so we invite you to come by and join us for the next one. We're your hosts, Willem Delvendahl, headmaster of IGA, and the Wizard of Games, and not Tim today. Tim has a veterinary emergency, so everybody pray for Tim's cat. Instead, I'll be rocking this one old school on my own with the three founders of Ludocratic Studios. So, joining us today are those founders. We have Nabila Ueda, Teja Batar, and Gito Zhang, the founders of Ludocratic Games, and one of our three foundry teams for the Indie Game Foundry, creating the game The Box is Alive. We're going to be talking about never stopping the momentum in indie game development because the game industry can be a little tiring. So, guys, welcome to the show. What are you having for lunch here today?
I'm having ground turkey and eggs today. Yeah.
High protein. You bulking?
Yep. Definitely. Yeah.
Teja, Keto, where are you guys going?
I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna have after this podcast. For now, I'm happy with the coffee.
That's good. Coffee's great.
For me, it's for me, I had some dinner. I had some chicken soup.
Keto is now joining us directly from China, so y'all are getting the international hookup. We are an international conglomerate. Congratulations, guys. You've done it.
International
awesome.
team.
Yes,
Very
indeed.
International team. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to the show, guys. So this is the second time that we've had you on the podcast, and it is a pleasure to have you back. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, the Ludocratic Games team is one of our three foundry studios. The idea being that they are a brand new indie studio made of people who haven't worked professionally in games for the most part yet, and are attempting to make the indie reality, the indie dream come true for them. So I think actually before I ask you the typical starting question, I'd love for you to give us a little pitch on what The Box is Alive is. What are you guys making?
I would say The Box is Alive is a physics-based platformer where you play as a cardboard box trying to deliver itself, because in this universe, Amazon has shut down. So there's nobody to deliver your packages anymore. And there's no Norman Reedus like Death Stranding. So the box has to find its own way to deliver itself back to its people. Yeah.
True.
Physics-based. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say a true dystopia where Amazon doesn't exist and I can't order unimportant things every day.
Like, who's gonna?
But hey, don't worry. The box is gonna come flying to you.
The box is.
Hey, don't worry. The box is alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the box is alive.
Oh, that's great. So I've just dropped a link to the Discord for those who are live here with us. So join their Discord and support them. They're going to Kickstarter, I believe, in a month. Is that right, guys?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
October 15th, Kickstarter will be live.
October 15th. So in order to help one indie studio achieve those dreams, we would love to see you join the Discord and then, of course, follow and back the Kickstarter should you be able to. All right, let's jump into that typical first question. So when we asked you what you wanted to do as the topic for today, you gave us never stopping the momentum, which I feel like you could interpret that a million different ways. So give us the intro to this topic. What do you mean?
Like this is what I think of it when I say never stop the momentum. Like this is maybe can be geared towards everything in life. I don't know if I sound really deep, but basically you have to show up every day. You have to really show up every day, development, getting stuff done, making sure the team is hyped up, on track, working on the game. I feel like a lot of games nowadays, when you work with teams, like you get started on something, but then the idea dies out. Like we have to all show up if we want to really make this happen. And I think that's where like don't stop the momentum comes in. Definitely don't burn out, but definitely show up every day to keep working on the game. Even if you're not gonna do much, show up every day to talk to the team, make sure everyone's doing well, keep the momentum going. You know, that's how I feel about this topic. I don't know how the others agree, but like this is how I feel about it.
So it is, in your words then, this is the statement, never stopping the momentum, is about indie game development, indie game founding, and for
Yes,
that matter, pursuing dreams of any kind, and making
exactly.
sure that you can continue despite, of course, the difficulty of a venture like this. Is
Yep.
that true? Okay. Ito and Tejo, do you have anything you want to add? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree to some extent, but I've got a different perspective
Hmm.
on this. Like when we discussed about the topic, the way I see it is, uh, never stop momentum need not mean, keep doing work every single day
Hmm.
like you're supposed to do, but
Mm.
rather it's like, there were days in the initial part of our development, there were days when we used to, full on go throttle the thing,
Yep.
and for days together we'd stay on calls for hours together, like spend overnights to meet deadlines and stuff for the showcases, for playtests, get the build ready. And we used to enjoy that, like, don't get me wrong, but from what I've observed, once we've achieved that deadline, the burnout comes in, and
Yeah.
there's a
You
delay,
slow
like
down.
there's a slump in form for a bit.
Hmm.
And if you kind of weigh things together, at least right now I can say that we found a sweet spot wherein we try to get in some amount of work on a consistent basis. It could be uh, something as big as, if we've got 10 things ticked out of a checklist today, tomorrow it could be just two, but keeping that ticking kind of helped us to, never lose that motivation and interest. And
Mm.
I'll be quite honest, like in this setup, being the indie founders working part-time, trying to bring on people, who are willing to do volunteer work, finding the right
Hmm.
people. Considering all this,
Yes.
there could be a lack of motivation at some points, but I think like that is the main thing that we require to keep pushing. That motivation somewhere. And the the good thing about having three of us is, even if two of us are kind of feeling low, feeling not motivated for a few days, the other one's like, guys, come on, we got this, let's do it, let's pick it up.
Yep.
So that's how we maintain to keep taking the momentum. And I think like that's more regarding, never stop the momentum going, because that would risk you not, getting back to the project at all. So yeah,
Mm.
that's what I see that as.
Interesting.
Eve, sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
it brings to mind. So there's a stat that I looked up a long time ago, which is the correlates the likelihood of a founded company, of a new company, succeeding against the number of founders. So in general, the highest likelihood for a company to succeed when it comes to the number of original founders for that company is two founders,
Mm.
followed pretty closely actually by three founders. So two and three seem to work well. And then third place is one founder, and it's actually a pretty steep drop off. Total founders do succeed more than four plus, but they do succeed a lot less than two or three.
Mm.
And then four plus is a significant drop off. Four plus works very infrequently. So it's kind of interesting what you're pointing out, which is that I think part of what you said there, Teja, is just the power of supporting one another. Because
Yes.
inevitably our weaknesses, inevitably we have weaknesses, I suppose. And so inevitably we're going to individually have dips in motivation and in perpetuating the movement, the momentum of our startups. And so by having these co-founders, and even if they aren't official co-founders, even if it's just close collaborators, you wind up having people who manage to be strong and high during your dips. And therefore you can always keep that momentum moving forward. Does that sound about accurate?
Yes, and I just want to add one thing.
Mhm.
Since you brought it up, though we three are the founders of Ludocratic, but I think the core members include our animator, our environment artist that we brought on recently, a UI artist, and these people, they radiate the energy. Like once again, on the risk of sounding deep and cliched, whenever we kind of hit a slump and we are like, damn, it's been too much work, and maybe we kind of want to divert our attention on something else or take a few off days, we see our animator post some some new work, new animations. Then we see our environment artist sharing his updates, like hopping on a call, just seeing his energy, seeing his passion towards the project. It kind of gives that kick in, and we're back on track again. And that's, I think that's down to the way we function. Like, no, it's not like we ask them like, you got to do this. It's more of, okay, we have this thing to do. Let's hop on a call. Let's discuss and see what we can do, how to do, what can we do for you, and what can you do for us. Like, that's pretty much it. And that what we have sensed is that ownership that you give to the teammates, that works wonders. Like, you see genuine work, and it's pretty much everyone wants to prove what they can do, and loves to be in this game dev business, and that I feel brings out the best in all of us.
I love that. Yeah, I really appreciate that last sentiment, which is a sense of ownership. I think one of the reasons that a lot of people work in indie in the first place, there's less money, and in aggregate or individually, I should say, we fail more often. We have fewer successes, even though the successes tend to be much more highly noticed than a AAA. I think indie allows us to have a sense of ownership. And on the chart of powerful human motivators, which we all focus on and learn about as game developers, a sense of ownership, a sense that this is mine, is one of the big things that winds up making something mean something to a human. So having your team have a sense of ownership for your game, of course, brings them closer, helps them tie into the game better, and keep that momentum high. I also think it just is like it is when we're talking about momentum and keeping the morale of a team high. I think it's super powerful, as you say. Like, if I'm feeling kind of crappy, and then somebody posts a cool video of how the box is alive is looking awesome, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, all right, I got this. This is cool. Or if I'm feeling good and I'm able to reciprocate that, and I'm able to show off some cool piece of work, then perhaps I'm uplifting a team member of mine who's having their own hard day or hard period. I'm curious, Keto. Keto, for those who are listening, is wearing a box on his head. Keto, can you tell us why you're wearing a box on your head?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I super agree on Teja's point on like people. It supporting each other is the best way to keep a momentum. Because like for me, I'm the one lost the momentum recently. After this big move from the US to China, like for me, there's a few months, I'm like, I feel I don't have time to go into this works, game developing, and I lose touch with my boys, and it's then constantly contact, like trying to hit me up, Guido, you gotta do this now. So like eventually I start to like working again, and now I'm slowly getting back my momentum. So definitely having a friend that supports you is the best way to keep a momentum.
That's beautiful, and thank you for bringing that up, Keto. I think that is alongside the expectation or maybe just the hope of uplifting each other and building momentum together. I also think that there needs to come with that, on the other hand, an understanding for the fact that we're all humans, and there's going to be days, weeks, months, years, sometimes where we have less to give. This is about relationships, and less about working as a founder or co-founder. But honestly, working as a co-founder is more or less a romantic relationship. It is so intimate. You spend so much time together. There's this beautiful exercise that I saw a couple doing that I've implemented in my own life before, where when one person is having a hard day, they describe to the other person what percent they are at in terms of personal capacity. So they'll walk in, they'll acknowledge they're having a hard day. They'll say to their partner, I'm at like a 20% today. out of 100, meaning I don't have much today. I don't have much to give.
Yes.
And then in reciprocity, the exercise is their partner will say back where they're at. So their partner will say, "Oh man, I'm at 100% today. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'll make dinner tonight. I'll give you a pat on the back. Like, don't worry." But then there are moments, of course, where the partner will say, "Oh shit, I'm at 20% too." And in those moments, the reason that this exercise is potent for this particular couple is because that clearly means something has to shift, or we have to do something to uplift each other, and also probably be graceful and understanding with each other. Now, this is a really cool topic, but I want to move on a little bit. I want to talk about silliness. I want to talk about goofiness. I want to talk about stupid games, because you
Yes.
guys, when we first accepted you into Foundry, you guys submitted a physics-based puzzle game to us as one
Mhm.
of your demonstrations of what you've built in the past. We thought it was
Yes.
hilarious. We love Fall Guys. We love a good boxes alive. That's funny. I'm already using that as an example. We love a
Hey, let's
good I
go.
am bread. Yep.
Yeah.
We love a good physics-based, silly game. Tell us a little bit about like silliness and goofiness and embodying your game with the joy that you guys feel in development.
Damn. I would say like this kind of silliness for me comes from the older games we used to play growing up.
Mhm.
Like the games like I forgot the platform where you play as a squirrel and like there's a boss that's literally made out of poop. I damn.
Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
Yes, yes, like Conker's Bad Fur. I remember those games. I remember Crash Bandicoot, where there's no, it's not intense. It's not meant to be crazy, thought out. Like even Donkey Kong, just something that's silly and meant to be fun. And I miss those vibes. I don't see that as enough anymore. So like that's
Mhm.
what I try to bring in when I thought about the Boxes Alive. Like this is just gonna be, and like this could be a game that potentially released on the PS2 is the kind of thing I want to go for with this one.
Yeah.
That's just simple. You just boot it up and are able to play, and it's just fun. And like the moments you have might make you laugh. That's what I want to achieve with this game, if I'm being honest. Like,
Mhm.
the narrative is there, but like I want you to remember the experiences you had playing. Like, oh, you broke this. Oh, you were able to spin around and do this move. Like now we're adding animations to the box. You won't see it, like hopefully we'll have it in the demo soon, but like the box has idle animations. It does silly stuff while waiting.
Oh, I can't
It'll
wait.
breathe. It'll fart from the back flaps, like if it's just waiting. You know what I mean? Like I want you to look at this game and just have a laugh. Like I want you to
Yeah.
smile playing this game and not think too
Mhm.
hard. That's a feeling I miss from my childhood. So like that's what I want to achieve in this game. And I feel like it's a good sign. Like whenever we play tested live, like we went to too many games, right? We went to the IGDA showcase as well. Um, like when you see people smiling and laughing, I'm like, we did the job correctly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People are liking this, and like when it comes to like the co-op physics game we made, our whole point was like to make people have to work together and see how
Mhm.
they react, and like it was part of a study that Keto and I were part of, and like we wanted to see how strangers would act up if they had to depend on each other, and it made people laugh and be very nice towards each other throughout the process. Just because they had those moments where someone would die, somebody else would like backstab and let the other person die because they weren't there to support them. So,
Mhm.
like, the silliness comes from those little moments, in my opinion, in games. Like, it's not something you can script in unless you're really good at writing. But I feel like gameplay moments are where we like want to strive in creating those silly moments that people would potentially remember out of the game.
Hey, Jarquito, you want
Uh,
to jump on that one?
Yep. So pretty much what Nabil mentioned, like even in, let's say, even in games which are not specifically made for that purpose, or which are not, technically classified as humor. Let's say, for example, even in Red Dead Redemption, I'm an avid follower of that game, and I keep consuming content from that, like Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, everywhere. And the creative things that people tend to do in RDR2, some of it is hilarious. Like I just spend hours together just scrolling through RDR2 videos, like online gameplay, and just the random stuff that people do with the NPCs and stuff.
Mhm.
And I feel similar to what Nabil said, that goofiness, that silliness is within all of us. We all
Mhm.
want to, have fun trying to do that. And that's the idea, like just to create a platform for that. And I feel this game is perfect for that because, especially, you remember this, like the initial idea was not to be a funny, humorous game. Like the initial idea was to, the mechanics are good, the idea of box moving and the level itself interesting. So it was more of a puzzle game where we could have some sort of a heartfelt emotional ending to the end. But after playtesting it several times in the prototype phase and later on, one thing that stood out to us was the combination of the mechanics, of the box moving and the obstacles, the levels that we had. It created a unique fusion where even when people were failing, you could see them having fun. Like, let's say they clatter into a chair, they kind of flip the table upside down completely. They're not able to break a window, but they keep getting caught in water. And these are the stuff that I've seen people enjoying even when they were not progressing in the level. So that kind of solidified our approach, and we were like, yep, this is what we are going to pursue, this is what we are going to follow. And yeah, I'd say since then we've been working towards that to stay consistent with that.
Amazing. Either, do you want to jump in on that at all? Silliness, goofiness, having a fun time while you make games?
So in the too many games, we have this one player. He's stuck on this platforming like rollers, and he trying to jump on multiple times. And when he plays it, his friend is like on background and watching him play. And this moment is also the moment I want to create. Like one guy is playing, trying very hard, and the other guy is watching as entertainment, and also like encouraging him to be that level as well. I think that moment is also very funny and interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I want to build more moment in our game to like recreate or make other people can feel that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is everything that I just heard from the three of you, I think really deeply echoes what the vast majority of game developers feel. The reason that we're here, the reason that we make games is because something affected us at some point in our lives, and we want to give that to players in the future. I love, same thing. I love having those moments when somebody just is meaningfully impacted or shows to me that they had a great time with my game. There was one time early in my career in college when I was still very much learning to make games where I had made this little puzzle game, and a friend of mine was playtesting it for me, and I realized I was late for class. And so I ran off to class, and it was like an hour and a half long class. I came back after this class, and he was still playing. And like, those moments are
Yeah.
so worth it. That's why we make games, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, to help us all practice a little bit of this joy and building momentum on our team via fun and goofiness, Teja, I think you might have an exercise for us. And actually, in fact, before that, I'm going to plug for everybody one more time. These three wonderful game developers are going to Kickstarter in 1 month, October 15th. So please look out for that, and please join their Discord. I'm going to drop the link again. All right, Teja, what exercise do you have for us?
Yep. So let's try to build up a concept for a game similar to the What is Alive, where we bring an inanimate object that you think would be interesting and funny to turn into an animate object. And first, let's start off with some suggestions of what could be an interesting idea. Which object would you like to see turn into a character, a game? And from that, I'd say let's just pick one and try to build some interesting mechanics around it. So
Okay.
I'd suggest, like, drop in with your ideas, drop in with your suggestions in the comments. We'll go through it, and then we can start the exercise.
Okay. Amazing. All right. So then the exercise, as I understand it, is to pick an inanimate object in your room. Everybody, this is for you. If you're listening after the fact, I want you to do this in your car while you're driving, whatever the hell you're doing. I guess just be safe. If you're listening right now live with us, do it in your room. Pick an inanimate object and then brainstorm a game surrounding that object. So write us out in the chat a game concept and get creative with this. If y'all have a freaking 4X game based on a coffee cup, I want to hear it. If you have a sick 3D branching ending narrative adventure based around what do we got? What do I have in my room? A journal? I don't know. Tell me.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat for us. Give us a little pitch, a sentence or two of the little pitch, and this will help you practice a little bit of this momentum through silliness. Teja, should I start?
Yes, I'd say I'd get some suggestions from you. Let's start off. Meanwhile,
Okay.
we are already getting some through the comments as well.
Okay, sweet. I have this is I'll kick us off. If you're listening, you can't see this,
Hey.
but I'm at MetaConnect this week, which is revealing some of the stuff that Meta is doing with their game, since I'm working on a Meta game right now. And we got given this swag. It's a llama with an Oculus headset on. It's a little like plushie. That feels like a video game character right there to me. I feel like this would be a goat simulator like, but like multiverse themed. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Going through different dimensions and stuff.
I've seen someone mention a car tire and a wheel.
Ooh, okay.
Is it? I would love to know if it's in combination, like you'd be controlling just a wheel. Like this. Okay, did he mean a steering wheel or just a wheel of a car?
That's a good question. Wheel of a car or a steering wheel?
Yeah.
Also,
our tire
feel free to
and
use
wheel.
pen and paper.
Wheel of
if
a
you
car.
wanna
Okay.
draw some stuff out as well.
Yeah, draw some stuff out for us. So brainstorm with us for a moment. Pick an object in your room, come up with a game concept for us. Just a sentence, doesn't need to be fully fledged, and put it in the chat for us so we can comment on it. Petunio, this isn't based on an object in a room, but it is hilarious. Doom except conflict resolution. How would that work?
And
be like Ace Attorney, but you're talking to demons. Like, hey, don't murder all the humans.
No, Misha sees it's a wheel of a car, and that reminds me of something. When I was a kid back in India, I used to see kids who play on the streets, and what they used to do is, they get these empty tubeless tires that are thrown away. They get those things. They get a stick, and they just run behind it, hitting the wheel with the stick, and just that's their entertainment. And
why isn't that
reminded me of that.
Yeah, wasn't that already like a simulator game? Who's made like the extreme like Dave the Diver version of spin the wheel with a stick?
that would be interesting. Yeah.
Cheru had a really good one. I like this a lot. It fits in your guys' game really well. In fact, maybe this is a multiverse, and you guys are just one game based on Cheru's idea here. I have magnetic googly eyes. They say a game about putting the magnets on other objects and bringing them to life.
Yep.
It's like the mechanic from the most recent Mario game. You can throw your hat onto stuff and take control of it, but that's the whole game.
Odyssey.
Oh,
yeah.
Odyssey.
Nah, that is cool.
Tear your confidence, this Petunio. Awesome. Isha has wheel of a car. Oh, Amani, a container of coconut oil for hair and whatnot. Amani, maybe elaborate on that game idea. How does it play?
I came up with a new one too just now. I'm part of the exercise.
Yeah, tell me.
Basically, it's a cooperative game where one person is a phone and the other person is a charger. What do they call it?
Oh,
like the portable
like a
charger? Power brick.
Charging ball.
And
like a power bank. Yeah.
The power brick is connected to the phone via the wire. You can use the wire to platform, glide on like railway through stuff. And like the phone's life is dependent on it being connected. So for some moments you have to disconnect and like rush so the battery doesn't die out and like reconnect.
Genius. Yeah. That's actually really smart. The battery slowly goes down, so there's time pressure. And you're just trying to plug your phone in before it dies.
Yeah. and like
That's
you both are codependent the whole time.
actually that's a great idea, Nabil. That's extremely
Thank you.
relatable. People will think it's funny. It'll be memeable. Nice. That's maybe your next game. You can just use all the
Yep.
mechanics you already created for the boxes alive.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Petunio or not Petunio, excuse me. Amani has elaborated on their coconut oil idea. You're a
Yeah.
blob rolling around trying to get in people's hair. Oh wait, Warlock?
Hey.
That was from Warlock? Oh, maybe Warlock is
Money
just
also
expanding.
added something. Maybe you're looking around trying to get on people's head to hydrate their heads. That's interesting. Yeah.
Ew.
Trying
There's like
to
dandruff and
scare a
stuff.
liquid.
That sounds
You're
gross.
on an island with no humidity at all, and everyone has very dry hair. Comes in
Yeah.
the box with
And we can
coconuts.
think of some obstacles as well. Like you can't get near fire. So end level if you get near fire.
Does anybody have like a super alternative game idea, like something that your inanimate object makes no sense for whatsoever, but it would just be funny, like a Final Fantasy based on a water bottle or something like that?
I was thinking about a water bottle and like how you shouldn't let the air go out. Like that's its life, how we all breathe
Yeah,
air. So like once
yeah.
the bottle is out of air, it's dead. You know, like you would use it to
I've
get under platforms.
Ooh, yeah. You could do. There's a guy who does air-powered engines on YouTube that I always find really
Yes.
fascinating. You could do something about air-powered engines getting pumped back up all the time. Amazing.
That
my
All right.
my
microphone sounds
favorite
cool.
one so far is the microphone, and the sketch is amazing. Like
It's so creepy.
I couldn't visualize earlier when I read a microphone, but this sums it up properly, and I love to explore the idea. A stealth game around a microphone, just trying to out some secrets or something like that.
Uh-huh.
That would be interesting.
Zeldatron, yeah, has dropped for those who are listening, Zeldatron has dropped an extremely creepy sketch of a microphone with a super creepy smile and stick legs and arms, and has said a game that uses the microphone as the core mechanic, whether it's voice control, shouting to trigger actions, or whisper-based stealth. Very interesting. We've got
I feel
one more
like
from
this would
Paper
be
Plate.
cool.
Okay, cool. We've got one more from Paper Plate, and then let's do some community questions. So Paper Plate says, you play as a keyboard missing several keys. Very
Yes.
type-heavy of a game where you have to type in words, but you're missing certain keys, so you can't do everything yet. Jump, walk, attack, you're missing keys that allow you to do those things.
Oh,
Very nice.
Ooh.
You would
That's
have to
pretty
come up
creative.
with different synonyms and like find out different words maybe to be able to commit some actions.
Oh,
oh,
that's really interesting. That's a good
Yeah.
example of a game that you could incorporate generative AI into in a way that
Yes.
it's welcome. It adds
yeah.
to the game. It makes a game that you couldn't make without it.
And it would
I really
make it
like
quite
that.
educational. Like that would be a good game for SAT training if you don't know the specific
Yeah,
words. Like you know how you have to find different synonyms for the SATs. This would be a great game to teach that, I
that's
feel.
awesome. Yeah, it's the next
Yeah.
Mario type. Well done.
Yep.
Cool. All right, this has been a fantastic exercise. I hope that helped everybody just have a little fun today, and then also, I hope that this helps you, find a little joy and silliness and goofiness for your own game teams, and help that improve your momentum and your morale on your teams. It is undeniably true that the game industry has been rough for the past couple of years,
Hmm.
and it is also undeniably true that the reason we're here is to have fun and to enjoy ourselves. Obviously, we need to make money so that we can continue to do this thing. But never let go of the youthful joy, of the fun, of the silliness, and remember, always look back to those moments when you were younger, the reasons you played games, and those experiences you want to share with your players. I want to make sure we have some time for community questions. So first one is from Zeldatron. Zeldatron asks the team, what is a good setup to help design level layouts?
So
Yes. Uh,
I
I think
could
hit him with
answer
the
it,
Chris
but
Barney. Hit him with the Chris Barney, Teja.
I mean, I could think of a few different ways to answer it. Like it would help if you could elaborate exactly what you were asking, because I can answer in our case, in our game. So initially itself, like we made a template, a doc that I wouldn't say it's like a Bible for our level design, but
Hmm.
it acts as a strong base for us where
Yes.
like it technically removes the blank canvas syndrome. And I think that is a very, very important step in level design. You spend days together kind of thinking about what do I do, where do I start. And what we've done is we made a doc of listing the mechanics that we have,
Objectives
and
of the level.
exactly per level basis we list out what mechanics are at disposal for the player, what is the setting, what type of an environment are we thinking to have in terms of narrative as well, and then we plan out different obstacles that would help us, maximize the usage of the mechanics, because I feel like our game is mostly about the mechanics and we want to platform it such a way that the players get to use the full potential of the mechanics, and we wouldn't want the players to go like, okay, the mechanics are interesting, but I would love to do this in the level. I wish I was able to do this. And we are trying to think of every such possible way to include those stuff in the levels. And once you have those basic beats for the level, the objective, the mechanics that you're going to use, you know what sort of an experience you would like to create in that level. And I think having those basic blocks helped us to fill out the rest of it. And later on, obviously, through iterations, we kind of improve upon it.
I love that.
Yes.
That's a nice, simple, actionable takeaway answer. Think about the mechanics that are in your game and design levels to showcase each of those mechanics. I think something that's really special about physics-based games is you naturally wind up with a lot of player agency and player ownership because they'll figure out weird stuff. In Fall Guys, there's that game where there's like a swinging arm that knocks you off platforms, and there's actually a name for the ability of you to kind of jump and land on the arm just perfectly, so it pushes you to the next platform. It's called I don't remember. It's called lever riding or something. People, identified that, came up with that as a result of the gameplay. So I think that a nice mix of both. This is a mechanic that we have in our game. We have a double jump. How can I make a level that showcases the double jump? Is a good place to start. And then I think also incorporating some stuff that is a little less specifically designed and is a little bit more, well, we'll see if the players can get to this. Anything that is truly progress blocking, you should make sure that you have an understandable way for you to progress. You don't want to force the player to figure out something that's impossible. But definitely for any extra pickups and things like that, sometimes it's okay to just be like, I don't know, let's see what the player figures out, depending on the mechanics of your game, of course.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Second question from Warlock of Roadmaps. Also, me and Warlock are now in a wizard duel. Warlock says, as you've expanded your team, what have you found to be effective approaches to onboard new people into your project?
Yes, for this one, I would say definitely we set up a test depending on what kind of position they're trying to go for. We also always set up a first meet call to see what kind of energy somebody's bringing into the team. We all try to be in the call. At least two of us try to be in the call out of the Foundry team. We try to get some energy. We ask them some questions about what kind of games they like, what kind of work they do. And based on what kind of position, we try to give them a test that fits that role. And we definitely, for example, right now, the composers who are working on the game, we gave them level 1 straight up, and we're like, use this, play it, and based on that, for example, make a sound. Definitely a lot of energy vibes. I don't know. I like to feel how people would feel in the team before letting them get onboarded as well. And I think Tasia also has definitely some stuff to add regarding this, but the test definitely matters. Tasia, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say once again having three of us helps in this regard as well, because each of us try to look for different things, and then we have some lengthy discussions on is this going to work? Is this the right thing, the right fit for our team or not? And then once we are pretty much on the page, then we make a decision. And so I wouldn't say we have 100% track record when bringing people on board.
That's for sure.
We've had a one or two hit and miss, but I think we can cut some slack to ourselves, because it was our first time trying to hire someone, bring on
Mhm.
someone. But since then, like,
Mhm.
I think what we've been doing, what Nabil just spoke about, has been effective to us. Having that first conversation where you get to know a person, not just about their work. Like, of course, their portfolio, the work speaks for them, but getting to know a person, especially when you're working in this small tight knit group, that helps a lot. And it brings me back to that point where I spoke about the energy that we get
Yep.
from the other teammates as well helps us to
Mhm.
push ourselves. So that is also important. Like someone who can take ownership, who
Exactly.
doesn't just
Yes.
want tasks to be given, but who would
Mhm.
love to discuss with us and set up a task together. So yeah, I think that's our
Uh,
main criteria.
like just to add to Teja's point, I love it when like whenever somebody's added to the team, when they have feedback for us. That's
Mhm.
something that I really appreciate out of anyone joining the team. I don't like, as Teja said, once they have ownership, they're like, by the way, I think this might not be the best way to do this. I think maybe we're overcrowding the player with the UI over here. Like this is the UI artist, for example. He's like, I don't like it when we cut off the a person's gameplay just to show them UI. Like pause the whole game just to show them something. Like hearing feedback, like the fact that they have their own opinion and are not just there to please us. That's
Mhm.
something that matters a lot, in my opinion. Like to show that you have a voice and that you own what you're doing. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
that is also something huge when it comes to the game. And that they're open to take feedback as well. Like, for example, the logo of the game, we were on it for a bit, but then as the game had more of an identity, we saw the logo and we're like, this is not the logo for this game. You know what I mean? And we were very honest with the UI person who's working with us. And full-heartedly, he was like, okay, great, good to know now. Totally scrapped the logo and is working on something new based on the feedback
Yep.
he got. So ownership and being able to give their own opinion matters a lot also.
Love that. I
So
think
yeah.
inherently, I think a your team is better for having people who take more ownership.
Hmm.
There are inevitably sometimes it's really useful to be able to just friggin' tell somebody what to do and to not have them, get too creative about a task or something
Hmm.
like that. Sometimes it's like, this is just the way we do things, and I need you to do it
Hmm.
this way. And
Yes.
that's okay. And I think just when those moments happen,
Hmm.
you just be clear about it. Like, hey,
Yes, you're
I
right.
hear you. Thank you. Yeah, very cool idea. I really need you to just do it this way.
Some
Um,
parts are
Yep.
redlined, as you said. Some
right.
parts
Yeah.
are red line. Like this is
Yeah.
something you can cross for
Yeah, but
sure.
I think in general, the more
Hmm.
your team is saying, "Well, I think we should do it this way," the more valuable that team member is. Um,
Exactly.
because like that's what makes a project team a team.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you might as well be a solo dev. And solo devs are
Yep.
fine. Solo devs are great. Awesome. All right, one more question, then I think we're going to wrap up for the day. Also from Celdatron. Celdatron, you are nailing it with the questions today. Celdatron asks how to make good mechanics, because you can totally put in time to make bad mechanics.
Oh
How do you
yes.
come up with good mechanics?
I'd say
Like
by making bad mechanics.
yes.
Yeah,
Literally
like
Tell
yes.
me.
that will eventually tell
Yeah.
you which is bad, which is good. So like once like, we have made a lot of bad mechanics. You know this film. Like,
Yep.
the stuff that
Uh-huh.
we've tried in the beginning, like we've got some nice feedback on that, and
Yep.
then that turned into this good mechanic. So I wouldn't say there's you can't know for certain if something's a good mechanic or a bad mechanic. Like I could feel one way. I could think one mechanic is amazing. Like I could have that eureka moment when I think of it. I'm like, no, I will get this done. We implement it, and in players, we find out that players absolutely hate it. And
Uh-huh.
you should be able to take that and
Yep.
the very old saying, never get married to your ideas. That is very, very
100%.
important in game dev. Like it's a
100%.
That's
thumb rule.
great. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just trial and error implementation. And once you get the initial mechanics in place, that will just help you to, formate the others.
Mhm. That's such a
Keto?
great. Yeah, Keto, you want to jump in?
I just want to say, like, sometimes the way to get good mechanics just goes through the bad mechanics. Like, you need to know this is doesn't works out, and you finally reach the good one.
Mhm.
Yep, exactly.
I love that. It's such a good answer, and it's very true. As always, our art form is heavily iterative. You know, there are virtually zero games that get released at this point that don't receive some kind of update post-launch. And that doesn't mean, by the way, this is what we're talking about here is typically during the prototyping phase. So this is very
Early.
early in production.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. I don't think you can just be like, I'm going to sit down and come up with some good mechanics. I think what you can do is sit down and come up with mechanics, and then you test those mechanics with real humans, hopefully the people that you expect to buy your game, your real players. And then when they hate some, get rid of them. When they like others, you get rid of them. You take ideas and you iterate. Keep
Yep.
petting your cat. You know? Also, did y'all see Petunio's beautiful work of art? in
Oh
the
yeah.
chat?
Yes. We should make that a sticker for the studio, by the way. We should definitely
Absolutely.
take that and make it a sticker.
Post about that. For those who are listening, Petunio, one of our wonderful community members, took a picture of Keto in their box hat and added arms. It's horrifying. We'll post about it too. All right, I think it's time for us to start wrapping up. So before we go, we like to do two things here, as always. The first is to assign some homework. So we'd like to extend the exercise. How can the audience continue to practice a bit of what we talked about here today?
I would
I'd say
well, go for it, Teja.
Thanks.
like I got the idea from the comment itself, from the chat itself, because I've seen some of them expand on their ideas and think of like, okay, the mechanics are good, but like how to make a
No, they're
game. Like,
good.
for example, yeah, the microphone, a stealth game with the microphone. I really like that idea. So I think kind of exploring more on the ideas they had and what could genuinely be a interesting, fun game. I think that could be an activity.
Awesome. Yeah, that's easy. So iterate on the exercise we did here in class. So in class, lol, in our podcast. We would like you to pick an object in the room. If you already did that, fantastic. If you haven't already done this, do this as some extra credit. Do it as an exercise to continue to practice your game development expertise. Pick that object in the room and iterate on a couple of different games or gameplay that you can create surrounding that object and perhaps change your object. For instance, I love the idea of a cooperative game about trying to plug a phone into the wall. I think that's hilarious. We've seen a lot of cooperative games do really well lately. And also, it's relatable, even though that's kind of dumb, but it is. Everybody understands the premise of like, holy shit, I'm on 2% battery. I'm so terrified. And I just think that that's actually a great idea. So for your extra credit, come up with something that you can expand upon and post it for us. We would love to see it. So you can put it on LinkedIn and you can tag us. You can tag Ludocratic Games. You can tag Nabil Ueda, Teja Batar, and Keto Jung. And you can tag the Indie Game Academy and Willa Delventhal, of course. And we'll get excited about your extra credit. This one's easy, just a couple of sentences. Yeah.
Also, if you really like the idea, make a prototype and test it with people.
Ooh.
That's
These
the way to know.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. These days, you can prototype so easily. You can prototype on paper. You can
Yes.
prototype with generative AI. Like,
Exactly.
it's super easy. All right. Before we go, I'm going to plug for you. These guys are going to Kickstarter in under a month now, October 15th. Look out for their game. I'm going to drop the Discord link one last time. The three of them have worked incredibly hard, and indie games are incredibly hard to succeed at these days. So any help that you can give, even if you just follow or if you post on their behalf, would be tremendously valuable. Otherwise, is there any last words of wisdom or anything y'all would like to plug here at the end of the episode?
Like since this is gonna be audio only, I'm just sad that people are not gonna notice how Keto has you know put attention to detail, as you can see in the background of his childhood photo. Even that has a box on it. Yeah, the red T-shirt. Yeah, I was just hoping anyone would notice that.
But catch it, yeah.
Yeah.
There
Keto's in the
are
box
recordings.
universe.
There are
Keto is
recordings
the
of
box
this.
who is alive.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There are recordings on this stream, so you can head to LinkedIn or Twitch or YouTube and check out the recording and try to find the box. Keto has just swapped the box around, and there's a horrified face on the other side.
Hey.
Thank you, Keto, for the joy that you bring here. Any last words of wisdom, y'all?
Like, do show up every day for your game if you believe in it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, try to
Yeah.
show up, keep working, prototype, and
Yeah.
yeah, like that's what brought this team together. We all showed up. That's how me and Tasia literally became teammates because we were like consistently talking on a chat, and that made the team. So I would say for what you want, you gotta show up. I hope it's not too deep, but yeah.
It's
And
not at all.
and I'd like to add this one thing. It might not be required to an audience that are in a community already, but I would say for game dev, one of the most important things is maintaining a community. Like not just to
Yes.
play your game, buy your game or play your game, but just to have people around you uh, who are interested in game dev, who are interested in indies, and who genuinely want to support you. Like we are lucky, we feel like we've got that support from IGA with numerous playtest showcases and community events. We've got that, and we were able to build our own little community. Since we started the game. But like for anyone who's looking to start off on their own or with a group of friends, maintaining a community is very important. Like it's like having an added team member in your game dev, in your team, and that is very valuable. And yeah, that's about it.
I love that. Easily agree with that. I have. I'll give one more thing here, which is we all know the game industry has been tough lately, and really the world has been tough. We're on hard mode right now. But a last little thing that I've been meditating on lately is it is a true act of resistance to pursue your dreams, to pursue your artistic dreams, despite hazy or negative outlooks. It is a true fist to the sky to say, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. These are my dreams. I'm not going to succumb. I'm not going to bow to the negativity. So y'all got this. I loved this talk. Find
Thank
your
you so
community,
much,
find your
Robert.
people. Absolutely. And we'll see everybody again next week, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We would love if you'd share this podcast around, and otherwise we'll see you then, everybody.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
everyone.
much, Willem. Have a good day,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, Willem.
Game over.